used to always say to me, like a basset hound, I could just kiss you right now when I didn't fuck her life up. My doctors, I could just kiss you right now. There was a lesion on my tongue, a parasite on my tongue, and it made it hard to speak. It made it hard to talk. Kim Kardashian, on your behalf, I hate to bring up your ex-husband, but he said it best. You gotta give credit where credit's due. He said his jaw was wired shut after his car wreck. I'm a huge fan of the two of you. On screen, I don't know what you do off screen. That's none of my business. But something tells me as the universe shifts me, moves me into highly nice destinies, I will find out what the two of you do behind closed doors even though I don't want to know. That's how you know parents talk that way. I don't want to know. When the kids be trying to tell them stuff, I don't want to know. I'm not sure who's older, who's younger, but I feel like the parent here. I don't want to know Kim. I don't want to know Ye. Just I don't want to know what y'all do. The kids is telling the story what y'all do, how they got here. You know, I know how to make babies. I don't want to know what y'all do. So back to the doctors. Thank you. You know, I was questioning. Who doesn't question their gifts, their talents when God has blessed you with? He doesn't bless all of us with gifts and talents. I wish I could lie to you and say he does, but he does not. And he has chosen, and I started to question my religion, and maybe I should keep my mouth shut. Maybe God's trying to show me I talk too much, because there's at least this lesion on my tongue, and I got this medical, and I told my doctor. That was the first thing I did when I ran into the emergency room and the clinic. I told them, you know, I could barely talk, so I had to sign most of it, and it hurt. It hurt like a worm was, because it was a parasite in my. I can't get into everything. I'm overwhelmed with the emotions, and thank God I couldn't talk like this. And you may have noticed the changes. I don't know. Some people have an eye for it. It was I don't know, my last ex to be the only one. Is this black guy? It may be Al Roker. That's this black guy who do or Jeff Beguet or something like that. He do CBS News. Jeff Beguet, yeah, that's him. He lost his voice for a while. I remember telling my ex, I don't know if my ex noticed it or not, my last one, I said, did you notice his voice? Like, I was very concerned, and because I wanted to do his type of work, and I was like, God, I pray he'd be okay. I pray, because I'm a huge fan. I loved his voice is comforting, and I love to hear his voice, and I was just scared, and his voice, it got worse. The more and then my ex said, you need to watch yours too, you know, watch your vocal cords, rest your vocal cords. She was like, you know, it was like, just, you too, I know you're concerned about him, but rest your vocal cords. And so I guess he saw it too, and it scared him too. And I don't know how that guy's doing. I'm about to look him up. Because I don't have a TV right now other than my phone. And I don't have Wi-Fi here at home. So I used to, it's one of the things, me and my ex, I don't miss my ex, but I miss having a TV. What good is it to have a home if you can't fill it with a television and sounds, different sounds in your home? It depends on the moment. Sometimes I don't want sounds traveling through my home, but you know, that's something we do together. We watch the evening news every night. If we wasn't out being a dog, we would watch the news and shit together. So let's get on this 666. You know, I hate to zoom through this, but Speaking of preserving your voices, I'm very well concerned and paranoid about my own right now because I've been noticing some things. I'm not gonna get into all that. And Baptist. Before I get into what I'm gonna talk to you about at 666, I don't know why it's on my mind, but over time we forget things about ourselves, and I'm thinking about this deer, this male deer, when I was walking at Indian Point, and it was when I was first getting used to being without my cars. And, I had been about transportation before, but it was probably so traumatic that I just forgot and thought that was the first time. Because as a kid, you know, some kids have the luxury of having a car come for them, pick them up all the time, but no, it's in between cars, in between transportation is something that I just recall just now. This moment has been a part of my life as a kid. Sometimes I had bikes. I'm not going to get into the damage that was done to them. Sometimes I did not have transportation as a kid. Sometimes I rode public transportation as a kid, but it was the school bus, not I don't want CTA to be the only one I had this conversation, but I talked to one of the young girls, and I said, you ever took, I see some of the kids doing what I did as a kid, but I didn't know you could do that on a public bus. I never really thought about it, because I didn't grow up in the city. And she said, I won't say what she said, because I don't know how dangerous that is for her. She might be in some domestic stuff. I won't say what she said, but anyway, because you see me talk to the drivers, and it wouldn't be hard to trace who I'm talking about, but anyway, so this has been a part of my life for a while, and back to this deer. I'm coming to terms with it, and I'm not mad at those who did have the luxury of getting your ass carted around your whole life. You had the lap of luxury, as I would call it, the lap of luxury. I don't know if it's lap or lack. Hey, anyway, it's the foreign thing. So, this deer was, I'm not finna suffer. I got one of these damn bugs acting up. Let me tag his ass. Hang on. Excuse me a minute. It's starting to, you know what? Yeah, get your ass out of me. When I slept outside, I don't know what happened to me when I was homeless. Ain't no telling. That's what I told my doctor. I don't get into detail everything else I told her. I just told her from the best of my heart, best of my ability, describe what happened to me when I was outside. I told her the best of my knowledge what happened to me when I was outside. And it was helpful in my evaluation. This deer, he was standing right next to me. It was like husband and wife. He could have cremated me and just bow, one blow. I would have been not here. And try not to, even though this video is not going to be suitable for children, I'm trying to watch how to talk to anybody about this. It was massive, well fed, this deer, and I don't know, it was like telepathy, like we was having a conversation. I wasn't on a trail walk. I was about to be, this is before, I lost count of how many times I was homeless because I've been in America for some time now. And, at least over 20 years. And, this is one of the times I was about to be put on the streets. It's like he knew I needed to see him. He was like he knew I was a dangerous. Like Dr. Doolittle talking about, I love talking to the animals with this. It was, I don't remember, it was so traumatic. Seeing him, talking to him, not out loud. I was spiritual and telepathy, like sitting there talking to this deer. Sometimes I talk to animals out loud, and this time I did not. I was afraid to move. I was afraid that a twig would snap under my feet, or I would run into the brush. And I'm just thinking, is he about to eat me? They're supposed to eat grass and shit, but this motherfucker look hungry. And deers are not supposed to. They're what is it? Herbivores. And I'm like, that's one of the few things I remember from when I was a kid. I don't remember all the big words from when I was a kid, but I remember, I can say at least that herbivores. I don't want that too much to fall to the wrong hands. And my allergies cutting up this morning, so I had to take the glasses off for a minute. Well, I can't wait for Kylie to spoil me and give me some allergy meds. I can use them. And, insurance, wouldn't cover my allergy meds. I've been suffering. And anyway, so the deer. This was right before I was homeless, and I was like, he was telling me it's gonna be okay, like a husband would his wife, or a wife with her husband, or two husbands, two wives. Back when I was a kid, you didn't see that a lot. Same-sex marriage, it was not a thing in the 80s and the 90s and the most of the 2000s. But you get to the 2010s, 2020s, it's more progressive. The people still are bigots for the most part. Not everybody's a bigot, but at some point it became legal to marry two people same sex. And I'm getting more comfortable with it. I don't have a problem with it. But for my own safety and the safety of my loved ones, I don't like to talk about it because not everybody is okay with it. And the deer, it was definitely a dad talk because he didn't say too much. And I did not stick around, but beautiful. The memories hit me for a reason. Probably because it's probably not just my move. It's probably different conversations I've been having with strangers. It's probably not just that, it's probably California. It's probably, I'm trying to be careful, watch my words, and receive God right now because there's certain things that I want to disclose to my enemies. I just recently had an interview with an enemy, and she stone cold hard pressed me, trying to figure out, ask me about my financial, my loved ones are the only people who I want my financial to go out to know that I'm going to be okay. And you don't want your enemies knowing shit like that, but she tries so hard to get to my financial. And so I forget where I was going with my financial. Alright, I can tell them that. So, because people find out you're financially secure and they want to fuck your finances up, They want to, financial survival, I like to call it. And somebody might have said it before, but it never spoke to me like it speaks to me right now. This world is not only back in archaic times, right? It was just about survival because business and finances were not invented yet. Housing, paying for rent, all that shit. You just lived in a cave. It was about your soul survival, like fighting off wild beasts, fighting off other men, fighting the elements, not getting staph and all the other sicknesses. That's what life was about. And AD and BD and CD and EE and all the E's and D's and all the alphabets, like before numbers became a thing, and 1, 2, 3. So it was just surviving. Simple. Life was simple. I sure wish I could have been alive back then. I didn't have to worry about no fucking rent and being homeless and violating laws. So you get these hoity-toity motherfuckers, they come along. This is a brief history lesson. Brief. And now you gotta pay rent. So you add in your archaic, I'm gonna coin it as Trump likes to coin things. Two of us have things in common. I like to coin things too. He likes to call it migrant crime. Well said. I like to call it archaic survival. So you have that never went away. You have your archaic survival because people are still very barbarian. Barbarian, like Men are more very barbarian-like. Now, all of them, but some of them are. And I put it in one of my videos, so I'm not gonna rehash that. And so you got archaic survival mixed with financial survival, and so I'm just learning this, guys. Just put this on my heart. I've been doing it the whole time. Didn't know you was doing it. It just comes and goes because people, that was financial abuse I went through, and all my former marriages, that was financial abuse. Even though this last one helped me to a point. And when you two of you, and mother said it best, when the two of you are not working together, one of you is working against the other one. That's financial abuse. So, financial security. That's who this woman was, trying to press me about my finances so she could abuse my finances. Because if your finances is abused, you ain't gonna be okay if you have to go to the streets. You ain't gonna be okay if you had to go to another housing situation. You're not gonna be okay where you are. So the older you get, people gonna try to attack your financial security, your financial survival. So she was coming after my financial survival because I'm about to be free from her. She has been tormenting me for the last 6 months. It ain't been quite 6 months. It's going on 6 months. She's been tormenting me, and it looked like she just wanted to give one last stand. Well, haha, bitch, I fixed your ass. I know you're looking forward to seeing me not taken care of, but God found a way for me to be taken care of, and you almost got me. You almost played me because you were like a mother to me, and I almost fell for that little tiny violin. I almost fell for it and told you everything and sang like a canary, just like I used to do with Mama when she used to interrogate me. But just like I outsmarted Mama, I outsmarted you. So fuck off. Mama used to go well beyond motherly duties and get into my finances, and she played me. What you would expect, and so listen. You never met my mother, so that's why I was ready for you, Herbie Jenny Myers. Herb, as Uncle calls. So nice try, but yeah, this woman, financial security is just hitting me early, and my almond. They come after Kylie early because she's well established already. She ain't even 30. It's not supposed to happen until you about 60 something when people start coming after your financial. I ain't gonna get into different ways because I don't want to help my enemies, but it's happening to me in my 40s. People are coming after my financial security, and it's scary. I thought I was not gonna be, even though I got a different personality type. I ain't gonna get into that because I love when people think I'm weak. It's a strength in that. And so I'm prone to the same illnesses and diseases y'all are prone to. I'm not a vampire, and I like to believe I am, or some kind of X-Men or mutant. And so yeah, she was coming after my financial security, and I didn't cave, I didn't break. She was trying to figure out ways. How could I fuck this up? She just sound like she done got something good going in her life. She's stable. I could just read all this from her interviewing me and talking to me. And he moving around. Let me get him again. Hang on. Every time I get one area, he go to another. So I'm trying to be totally taken care of. Let's see, where did I just feel him at? Where did I just scratch? That feel a whole lot better. My uncle told me once. I thought it was solely to get my panties, but it was partially to get my panties rolling, but it's partially true. He said, I can tell God is really using you, because I was doing some things. And God was calling me. I'm going to get back to the woman. And something else impressed him, our God, just now. And I can remember being ongoing. That's like an ongoing thing for most Americans. It's a new cultural norm. It's homelessness. I can remember about to be put out of my apartment, and I can remember doing some things that was godly. Some of the things I was doing was ungodly. I'm human. We're all sinners, and so we're supposed to repent though while there's still time. And some of us sin on purpose, some of us do not. I wasn't sinning on purpose, and I was trying to do right, trying to skate straight, and he admired that. I was about to be put out, and I was focused on rent, and trying to keep my shifts at work, trying to show up on time and out, but I was still doing what God was calling me to do, different tasks God called me to do, and I needed to hear it. I needed to, my dad wasn't there growing up, absentee parent. My uncle said, looked at me and said, I'm proud of you. I could tell God really using you, and I really needed, he must have knew it. I needed to hear that. Thank you, Roland, and for apprenticing me, and so it was a moment. We had a dad-daughter like moment. So staring into the LED, maybe my allergies will be okay for a little while. Maybe they'll stop acting up. And so the woman is like grilling me, and there's certain things I can help you with as far as financial security go, as far as advice goes, and certain things I can't reveal because I don't want my enemies to benefit from that. But she passed the test. She didn't break me as far as trying to, I can't reveal too much. That's about all I can reveal. That's about it. And so 666, I see I'm running at 20-something minutes, but I'm learning to pace myself. Even I'm paranoid about the phone and the well-being and the health of the phone, and because this was given to me, and I'm paranoid about the time, because of how my hard drive space is so big. But I'm learning to work at a middle-aged pace. You can't rush yourself. You're middle-aged, and so 666 Baptist pastors, period, don't, for one reason or another, do not preach on what to do about 666. They tell you the mark of the beast. Then there's an echo of silence throughout the congregation. There's an echo. If you ever been to church, if you ever listen to church on the radio or a podcast or something like this, they say, mark of the beast is coming. Then what? How do you prepare for this? What does that entail? That's pretty vague. Mark of the beast. That's scary. You don't spook people and just leave them out there in the jungle. Mother used to speak that way when she was encouraging on the blue moon. She was encouraging us. You don't just leave people into a jungle and just leave them there. That was one of her favorite slogans. But so how do you prepare for the 666 thing when it comes? Like, it don't have to be scary. These are things. If you read Revelation, if you read Matthew 24, or any version of the Bible, King James, whatever your drink is, pick your poison. But definitely read something. And at some point, people gonna be burning Bibles. The people who are satanic, and I won't rule out Christians burning them. People just there's just certain things I can't say on the camera, because like I said, I don't want somebody like Tyson benefiting from this after all he done to me. The last thing I want to do is help him. After all the things he done, there's a lot of people I feel that way about, who hurt me really bad and really fucked me over. So it's just certain things I don't want to release publicly that could really help them. And so 666, it's this is my interpretation that God has shown me. I've never heard anybody say it quite this way, but it's the purpose. Nobody's ever explained the purpose of the mark until now. Like, why mark people? Well, for one, to track them. The government tried doing it with cell phones, but that wasn't quite enough. And so it's the perfect way to mark people. It's like, no different than chipping a dog. And my omens and my visions, like that movie, The Omen. The U.S. government, I don't know if other countries do it. That part is unclear for now, and not come to me yet. But like, you would chip an animal. This barcode, it's gonna be two of them: chips in people and a barcode. And I like to believe that I play. Who don't think that they go through life on a different set of rules? I do not. In my omen and my vision, they sit my ass down and they chip me and they barcode me. I have a barcode and a chip. It's not an option. It's death, or mother said it once. This one we talked about. I don't want to go to my grave behind closed doors. I don't know if the place was wired or not. Mother said to me, I said, Mother, what you think it's going to be like? I don't know how old I was. I said, the mark of the beast. Pastor never talks about that in church. What is that like? Mark of the beast. Ooh, sounds spooky. What is that? The devil is always portrayed as this hideous, like, demonic entity. And she said to me, Mother said, I think I lost my train of thought. What did Mother say about that mark? She said, damn, I forgot. I'm at that age. I'm sorry. I know y'all was like at a cliffhanger, like on the movie. What's happening on the movie next? Mother said, I asked about that mark of the beast. Damn, I lost it. Shit, over the years, it happened to you more and more as you get older. But I asked her, and she told me something about the damn mark. Man, Lord, it caused me to forget what it was she said about that mark of the beast. But she told me what she knew. I can at least tell you that she told me what she knew, and maybe it was her that told me you would needed to buy groceries. And I remember what she said. Herbert spit it out. She said, death is either you gotta get it or you choose death. And I remember I was like, she said, if you refuse, it's for a test. 666 is a test. And people who don't believe, people who don't believe, Mama drank a lot. People who don't believe, and she was a pothead. She said it's gonna be like a line, infinite line of people, and demonic people gonna say, you either take this mark or you die. Take the 666 barcode and all that shit. She didn't say barcode because she didn't know that wasn't clear in her vision. My mom was a prophet too, so she said, you don't take this mark and deny your faith in God. If you don't take the mark and deny, then you die. That's how they gonna be doing people with the 666. And she said, you don't have a choice, baby. Either you gonna have to take the mark and say you don't believe in God, or not take the mark. I'm not sure how that sounded when I said it, but take the mark, deny Christ, and live. Don't live. Profess your love for God. That's how she. And no mark, and that's what she said. She said it's a way to identify believers in Christ. She said that's how serious this business is. And I don't know if she had this similar conversation alone with my brothers, but I remember the two of us being alone, at least in the kitchen. I remember I told you our conference room was the kitchen. I don't know if my brothers was eavesdropping in the other room, but I know she looked at me like Father, Son, and just told me, get ready for this. This moment is going to be a part of your life. I feel it coming in your and my, she said, maybe not my generation, but it's coming in your generation. And I really never got a good look at my mother. Looking back, she didn't like when people looked at her, and I'm not even sure which version of her that was. And some people, when they pull in, I can't say too much out loud about my mother, but a lot of stuff starting to make sense to me now. And yeah, so 666, and that's all she told me about 666, and she said a couple of other things, and I can't get into what else she told me about 666, and I believed her. I know you can't believe everything people say, you can't believe everything your parents tell you, but I believe what she told me, which I cannot say on camera right now. I believe what she told me about 666. I believe what she said. I believe it, and I gotta watch how I talk so I don't get censored, because the U.S. government only lets you say so much about this topic. And so you're gonna need it to buy your goods. You're gonna need it to buy your goods and your produce. You want to eat and survive. You're gonna have to get the mark. And you're gonna need it for your day to day. You're gonna need it so the government can track you. It's not only to get goods. It's your housing, it's your transportation, it's how you survive the apocalypse. And so the 666 is that's also a way of tracking. It's a tracker, your housing, your transportation. It eliminates needing a phone. That explains the news saying eventually we're gonna go to no phones. People are already going back to landlines, so it's. Maybe that's the three things, 666. Maybe that's the consecutive of three pauses there. I don't know, that part is unclear to me, but I know what is clear is that it's eliminating the need for credit cards. Everything makes sense, but Baptists, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk this way. I don't know if that's the reason that pastors don't talk about 666. Maybe it's a ban thing, so let me be careful in how I word this. I don't want to get a ban for going too far. Pastors do not preach about 666. They don't know the detail about it, or maybe they don't know. Maybe God gives each of us only so much. My mom only knew so much about 666. I only know so much about 666 for right now. Maybe those pastors only knew so much. Maybe they weren't withholding to be mean. But it is kind of on my mind. Why didn't you help us prepare for this? And I'll try to give y'all one last thing before I go. Mother said they're gonna be killing people. Religion, they're gonna be killing people. You say you believe in God, they're gonna kill you. People who are non-believers are gonna be done took over the world at this point. This is how bad the world is growing. You see how flagrant the crimes are getting. So my mom said they're gonna be killing people. People who say they believe in God. That's how firm you gotta be in your faith. You're gonna have to face somebody and tell them you believe, or lie and say you don't. So that's something. And how's God gonna take that? How's he gonna feel about that? So prepare for the worst. You see right now, our leaders, not just one, all the good ones are fighting. I'm not gonna reveal their names for their safety. They are, you're hearing all these different attacks happening to the leaders, the ones who are fighting for the religion in America right now. It's going on right now. It just hadn't gotten to the point where I just told you. You're going to be questioned. You need to be thinking already, what is my answer going to be when somebody asks me, do I believe? Peter, no, it wasn't Peter, Judas. It might have been two of them. It was Peter that denied Christ. He denied him. Jesus was fighting. Maybe nobody ever told a story. This is another story that pastors don't talk deep on, and I'm not either, because I don't know how much I'm allowed to say publicly, but I can at least tell you this. Tell you, Peter, you denied me. This is Jesus' voice. Peter, you denied me. Imagine yourself about to go to your death. You're about to be crucified. Crucifixion is a death. You rot, you die slow. And somebody who back you've been catching this man back. You need him. All he needed was a couple more votes to prove he wasn't crazy. Imagine yourself now. I'm imagining myself right now. A couple more votes. All he needed. That's unforgivable, Never thought about it till now, but, he just needed a couple more votes, because that's the thing is he was declaring himself to be Jesus, and it's a crime where he was Rome, Italy. It was a crime to say you was God. And I won't rule it out. I pray to God that don't happen to me or my loved ones, where it's people let he do that to me and tell me to walk around saying I'm, I won't say, but because there's some people who walk around now who say they, and I won't say he won't do that to me and test my faith. He takes on different bodies. The body of Christ, he takes on different disguises, different faces. Anyway, so imagine, I'm not going to talk on that too long, because I don't want what happened to him to happen to me or my loved ones. So imagine, but it sounds like he's doing it to me. It sounds like he's doing it. And anybody who ever says what I'm thinking about, they are rude Looney Tunes. If you think you are, I can't say it now. Anyway, so he going to meet his death, and he just need a couple votes, couple people to back his ass up. If Peter could have just said, I know this man. Yeah, he's Jesus, but he cowered it, and it led to Jesus' death, because the crime was, it was against the law for him to say he was the Messiah, the second coming, Jehovah Jireh, all his names, and he got some cool last names. I can't think of all of them right now. Prince of Peace, and let me treat my wound. Got another one just come up. Hang on. So, all Peter had to do was just say, I know this man. He is who he say he is. And then I'm sure that would have shifted it. We were like Back to the Future. You do different things in a timeline, and time does different things. All he had to do was just back him up, and we would have a different conversation, a different. But I'm gonna tell you what make it more beautiful is that God knew that was gonna happen, and in order for it to happen, other things can happen. So it paid off for Peter to be a pain in the ass. It paid off for him to be a pain in the ass. That's the puss from where I was scratching. So in the divine plan, Peter playing Christ like a chump could have saved his life, but it also God knew it was gonna happen. I can't tell you why. Other than that, he knew it was gonna bring other things to pass. And when bad things happen to you, I can't just chalk up a crucifixion as a bad thing. That's a horror. It's indescribable. I can't think of any words other than indescribable. God, I'm sorry that happened to you. We don't think of you as a person, even though you was here in the flesh at one time. It's no different now. He's here in the flesh. He takes on bodies, and sometimes people say things to you need to hear. That's him. Even if it's something you don't want to hear, it's him that speaks, and so he takes all different disguises, and just imagine how heartbreaking it had to be. You've been walking with this man, and that happens. That happens in this life. You have people that you're running with, and guess what? When it comes down to it, I can't get into some things that happen to me. It comes down to it. When you need them, they turn their back on you. Like, oh yeah, I know you. But when it come down, the trouble come. Oh shit, I ain't never seen this man for my life. I ain't never seen him before. That's what it was like. They've been hanging out. Christ and Peter have been hanging out, been buddies. And when God needed him the most, Peter, forsake him, Peter, you deny me. And then Christ had the balls to tell Peter, Peter, you deny me. And then it was just chilling because that's all he could say. That's all he could stomach say. You knew his wrath was coming. I don't know what happened to Peter. I don't know. The Bible doesn't speak as far as I know about what happens to Peter beyond a certain point. I don't want to be Peter. That's the thing is nobody wants to be Peter, no matter how stupid you are. It's enough to go on to know you don't want to be the one who was on Christ's bad side, So, and I forget who else was there. There was a lot of people who denied him that could have spoke on his behalf. That they would have wound up there too, on that cross with him too. And that's what family's for, man. I just can't believe, pastor would talk about the story of Christ this way. No pastor, I have to be careful. I don't let it go so much. I'll get banned, or something bad happened to me. But so these people left him hanging, and some pastors try to make it a feel good story. But I had a pastor once. He didn't know a whole lot about it, but he spoke it the way it should have been spoken. I can't even, for his safety, I can't say what he said. And, I don't remember his name, but just